Welcome back, passengers. I'm so glad you could join us today. I'm your host, BusyBee, and hijinx is here against her will, like always. This week, if you couldn't tell from the title of the episode, is about Sun. Her name brings up images of a big ball of flames in the sky, but she's much more than that, as we found out this episode. However, going along that line of thinking gave me the best idea for the fandom topic of this episode. That, and a group chat I was unceremoniously shoved into earlier this week. Lostapalooza.
Lost. Oh, did somebody put Lostapalooza in there?
No, but everyone mentioned it in like talking. I'm just like, Lostapalooza would probably be a good topic for this episode. But before we get into that, pop culture time. The title of this episode is also the name of a popular song. So this trivia is all about songs. We are big on the exclamations in song titles in this year. It seems because two of the biggest hits were Yeah and Hey Yeah. Yet, neither of those were capable of holding a candle to a sleeper hit that became one of the anthems for those not going through a phase. Mr. Brightside was released, but unfortunately, it took until June of 2005 for it to hit number 10. But it's enough trivia. It is time for Lost Ate My Podcast. Hello, hijinx.
Hello. Good morning.
She's laughing because it's what time? It's 7:30 at night, but because she works night shift, it is her morning. It is my night, though. You and your weird schedule. These get released in the morning. Do you know what time they get released?
No idea.
I was funny about it.
Was it 8:15?
It's 8:15 in the morning. We scheduled them to release at 8:15.
The numbers.
The numbers, man. Speaking of which, I almost lost my cool at the end of the episode because
you almost wait. Did you almost lost? You almost lost your cool.
I almost lost my cool.
Yeah, you have to say it like that. Lost.
Because the announcer was saying, last call for Oceanic Flight 125. I'm like, 125? From nonstop to Singapore. I'm like, oh, okay, not this flight. I was about to say there's a continuity error. It's a false error on my part. I jumped the gun. We're good.
By the way, don't you dare make any references to a continuity error because Greg Nations was my bro.
I said incorrectly. I admitted it. My notes literally have WTF 125. Oh, wrong flight.
I didn't say.
Those are like the last two sentences.
And as none of you know, probably, except for some of the people from the Fuselage who went to fan parties, Greg Nations was the script coordinator. There we go.
Okay.
But all that meant was he was the dude who made sure he made sure there were no continuity errors.
Well, we love you, Mr. Greg Nations.
Yes, and I adored Greg Nations. He was a massive Prince fan. So, or he probably still is a massive Prince fan.
I am a Prince fan by proxy. He's my uncle. Hijinx's brother is a really big fan. And I share a birthday with him, so I'm a little biased.
Not with my brother, but with Prince.
Yeah, no, with Prince.
Yes.
Not biased of the turkey baby. Before we get into the episode, other than nitty gritty of it, I'm going to pause here. For those of you who haven't watched the episode, how dare you even be listening right now? Go watch it.
Rude.
And then you can come back. However, if you cheated, I have no way of knowing. So we're just going to continue. So the title of the episode, very obvious who it was about. Did you guess that from the title? Sun. That's what the rising sun. I wonder who it's about. Oh,
Charlie.
You know, that could have been a secondary one because, music and he was.
Yep.
And, the whole thing of there is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun. I guess you could tie that song into Charlie somehow. Also, I love the fact that Charlie's kind of a big feature in this episode with him going through his drugs and guitar thing. And Hurley's listening to Willie Nelson at the end.
I do like the music.
The music is awesome. So, I love some of the notes I took. Because I said Jin joins Fight Club. And then how dare the original Fight Club members break this up? So I need to tackle him.
I know.
I'm like,
the irony. We're the only ones allowed to fight. How dare you?
Yeah, how dare? I mean, really?
Dare. That's our thing. Can you like get your own thing? We're the people who fight.
See, I couldn't remember why Jen attacked Michael at first until after he's handcuffed and Sun like points to her wrist. I'm like, it's not about the handcuffs. Oh, it's the watch. That's right. But I knew it wasn't her watch. I didn't think it was. I figured out eventually it was the father's watch, but
yeah. By the way, wait, was it Sun's father's watch?
It was Sun's father's watch.
Okay. Sun's father, by the way, beautiful man. He was at some of the fan parties. He was very sweet.
Oh, really? I can't wait till he's in an episode so we can talk about him more.
I think, I don't think I got my picture with a lot of people. I can't remember if I got my picture with him. I'll have to look. Go ahead.
I correctly guessed the puppy was in this episode.
Puppy.
Yeah. Not Vincent puppy, but whatever they named their puppy.
No. Puppies.
Poor puppy. So what do you like from this episode? What did you take away from it? Besides the fact you watched it in Spanish.
Well, you know. I did do a partial rewatch in English too, but I'm doing a full immersion Spanish thing. So I am watching a lot of stuff in Spanish right now. And I just was like, oh my God, who has all Lost in Spanish? I'm going to watch this one in Spanish.
So,
and then I watched it in English, but I just didn't get time to finish watching it in English. But first of all, for those watching it for the first time, you may notice that there is a writer on the show who has a very long Spanish last name that is almost unpronounceable. I'll pronounce it for you. It's Javier Grillo Markswatch. Like Mark apostrophe S watch. Markswatch. That's how the last name is pronounced. And I know this because Javi was very, very involved with the Fuselage, very involved with the fans, and we all adored him massively.
Still adore.
Still adore. That's true. He interacted with us all the time, and he went to the fan parties that we had in LA, and
which we will get to in a minute.
Oh, is that part of our thing? Okay. All right. So anyway, Javi came to the fan parties and stuff. He and I became really good friends. And so when I got approached about helping out with the Lost Ate My Life book, I asked him to do the forward. And he did a really incredible forward. And anyway, just great guy. He's written for many other shows, including, as BusyBee will tell you. Go ahead. What other show has he written for that you love so much?
He writes for the 100, or he wrote for the 100. It ended, but every time I see his name come across the screen, I'm like, "Ooh, it's going to be a good episode." Javi wrote on it.
Yes,
I get so excited.
Yeah, he's one of those writers who, like, he's a pop culture nerd.
Oh, and I'm sure he'd love the beginnings of these episodes.
I will tell you, one of my absolute favorite memories with him is, so he and I and another fan who went by the handle Speaker had started, he's the one that started Javi's fan club on the Fuselage. So we were in Chinatown in LA. Yes, that's how all good stories should start.
As it should.
I'm trying to think if this was when we had met, which, excuse me as I name drop, but Javi is very good friends with Paul Dini. If you don't know who Paul Dini is, feel free to Wikipedia and, lose your mind, because Paul Dini was part of the writer coalition that there was a group of them that JJ and Damon have put together to flesh out the core characters for Lost. And those are these first stories you're seeing. But real DC nerds will know Paul Dini from his work on Batman comic books and animated series. And he's an absolute legend for being the writer who brought us Harley Quinn. He's actually the writer who invented that character.
Harley Space Quinn. I have to always remember that.
Harley Quinn. Yeah, he's the writer who came up with her. Anyway, we had met Paul Dini and his absolute gem of white wife, Misty, in Chinatown for something. They're hilarious. Oh, I think that's when we had like a Hobby Minions lunch or something. Anyway, we'd hung out with them, and then we were standing on a street corner in Chinatown, playing each other ringtones on our phones.
Is this for the story I think it is starts? Or no?
No, that was a story. That's just what kind of nerds we were. We were just playing each other the best weird ringtones that we had on each other's phones and just playing them for each other. Oh, listen to this, because I think this is the time that I had like the Close Encounters ringtone on my phone and stuff like that. It's like, oh, but listen to this one. Oh, but listen to this one. So
I was actually talking about that the other day. Somebody asked me if I knew what Close Encounters was, and I had to explain to them that used to be my ringtone on your phone.
Yes. So when BusyBee would call me, it would start that exchange or if you don't know what Close Encounters is. Yep. And so the longer it took me to answer it, the more aggressive because it's like the two things. Yeah, it would go on forever. Anyway, but so yeah, Javi was most definitely one of those people who was just, it seemed like one of the fans. He was always more than a VIP. He was just as much a fan as we were, and he just loved interacting with all of us. But anyway, so this episode was his first episode where he was the sole writing credit for, but he stayed with Lost for the first 2 seasons, and then he moved on to other projects. But absolutely one of the best writers, and any episode that he was a writer for, it was going to be a good one.
And I still know that to this day. If I ever see his writing credit on anything, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, he definitely does a lot of the more sci-fi or pop culture-y, nerdy kind of shows are usually the ones that he's attached to.
Which is my whole niche.
Yes, which is pretty much BusyBee's whole, that's her wheelhouse. So anyway, continue.
Before we start Lostapalooza, any final comments on the episode? Because I have one, which I think is hilarious, considering what you've told me about the episode so far, about you watching it.
Yeah, I mean, for those who don't know, for those watching Lost for the first time, it reveals a lot. It is the first glimpse of the whole Sun-Jin dynamic, and of course,
there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, for those of us who have known Daniel Day Kim from any other role, it's like, wow, he's a good actor, because he's in Hawaii Five-0.
Most recently, something that I watch is he's in the Airbender show. He plays Fire Lord Ozai. Still, very aggressive character in that. But
you're like, man, he's such an asshole. Or but it's like, and I adore Daniel Day Kim, and I was like, man, Jenna's such a jerk.
but his acting is so fantastic.
He's
fear
amazing.
in Jin's eyes when that axe is coming for him. Felt that in my soul.
Felt that in my soul. So but yes. Anyway, but go ahead. That was the only other thing. Just
are actually doing 2 rewatches of the episode. You said, because you watched it once in Spanish and now you're watching it again in English. While we're doing this, you have it on in the background. Is what you've told me.
Yeah, I'm just because it's funny.
I have a note to state that, hey, this is the episode where Sun is speaking English, except I put anglais.
Ironically.
I ironically put anglais, which is Spanish for English.
English.
So we're gonna have all languages up in here. I'll add some German, maybe some French. Not as good at that.
Working on it. Yep.
And my favorite quotes from the episode is one, didn't you guys shoot a polar bear last week? Hi, Jack.
Maybe.
Because maybe. I said, bad Charlie, he knows about the band. Also about the drugs.
Yeah. About the drugs.
Locke mentioned the island will give you something only if you give the island something in return. I'm like, Locke, are you the island? You're the one asking for the drugs. You're the one who knows where the guitar is.
Yeah. Locke, it really does seem that from early. And again, it was something that I kind of forgot along the way with, I mean, again, since I have not done a rewatch since all the episodes originally aired. Though, I mean, I think I did a rewatch like during the seasons, but I've never done a full rewatch.
You have to do recap watches. It's not really a rewatch; it's a recap.
Yeah, but I have not rewatched the series since it stopped airing. But I kind of forgot how in tune Locke was to the island from like the get go, and it was almost like he was like hello, I'm Locke. I will be your island interpreter for the evening. I was like,
and we're walking.
We're walking. And almost because the island gave him its first gift, really. For him, since he wasn't eaten by the smoke monster, he was given
his legs.
He was given the gift of walking as opposed to death by smoke monster. So somehow he became in tune to the island. Hey, stop it. Stop. He's looking at me like, what? I'm not doing anything. So yeah, I kind of forgot again all that.
The last quote I have is, short walk, they lied early.
Always. There are no short walks on the island. They're always long walks.
Puffing and puffing. Oh, also, apparently, Charlie doesn't like me. He doesn't like bees. Yeah. I don't know what to do with this. Charlie's my favorite.
I think I may be allergic. Charlie, by the way, he doesn't commit to anything. He's always like, I think I don't
swim. I don't swim. Instead of I can't.
I don't swim. I think I may be allergic. He's just, he asks everything. Anyway.
The only time he tried to whole ass something was to go into the jungle to do drugs.
Well, he's all in when it comes to drugs. So there you go, Charlie committed to something.
Yay, go Charlie. Except you gave up your drugs, so you didn't even commit to that.
Well, because he knew he was going to run out eventually, and then what was he going to do? Either way, he was going to have a good month.
Now he has a secret stash. But he doesn't know where it is.
No.
So if that's all we have to talk about the episode, we're going to go into Lostapalooza. How many Lostapaloozas were there?
Okay, first of all, we never called it Lostapalooza.
What the? Why do I remember it as Lostapalooza? I'm pretty sure you called it that.
We might have called it. I mean, we never. Okay, so
I think there was like at least 3 official ones.
Okay, so the first 2 were called Destination LA, and those were put on by David Cherry's his head, the head of his fan club, Allison. I don't remember what her screen name was, but her real name was Allison. And the first one was the real banger. That was the one where JJ came and it had just tons and tons of people for the show. And it really was kind of a celebration of that first season of Lost. That was the year that they won the Emmys and the Golden Globes and all that kind of stuff. I think they won all the I know they won. I know they got an Emmy for the first season. But yeah, that was the crazy one. That was the one we had at the Run, we say at the Run. Did we have it at the Run too? I can't remember. but yeah, that one was insane. And then we had it the second year. Allison and her group, I think, organized the second year too. But then Fury lost. And so I can't remember. After that, we called it Lost Weekend.
Okay.
And so we had like the Lost Weekenders. That was those of us who went to them. So there were 6 seasons of Lost. I think we had 3 more after that. I think there were 5 total. There was 1 year that I was not able to go. Well, okay, so there might have been 4 more, but I know there was 1 that I wasn't able to go to. I'll have to look. But yeah, and there was 1 year we had, but 1 year we had it in Pasadena instead of LA. That might have been the second one. So I can't remember all of it, but yeah, we had, they weren't the ones after the first 2 were not quite as big because it was just us. I mean, there was a group of us, kind of throwing them together. By the hair of our chins, but doing our best. But we were still managing to put together a group and having fun, and usually getting a few of the, excuse me, for the yawning, but getting a few of the VIPs out there, thanks to Verky. He usually provided us with some people, and most of the time it was just us having fun and doing games and hanging out in LA together. So so we called it was Destination LA the first 2 years, and then we just called it Lost Weekend after that. And I think we would, when we were joke about it and stuff, sometimes we called it Lostapalooza, but I don't think we ever officially called it that.
So while Hijinx has been talking, I actually looked up Lostapalooza. I did find photos on Flickr of Lostapalooza. I'm not sure who was it posted them. I'm not going to say her name in case she doesn't want me to, because she's not officially associated with the show. It's just a fan. But yeah, her pictures definitely show like a cookie that said 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. And I think it said it was like for season 6, and 2 people were dressed up as the smoke monster in it. So definitely something Lostapalooza near season 6. So that would have been final season.
I don't know. I don't think we had a party last season that I remember.
Well, somebody had a Lostapalooza. Oh, we might have been an at-home party.
Yeah, it might have been like a season finale kind of thing that they had. We had
season premiere for the last season.
Yeah. Okay. Are we back? What?
Yeah. No, we're back.
Okay. So I don't remember if we had a Lost party. I'll have to look it up. For a fan party for the last season. I'd have to look it up, but I do know that we had a. I know we integrated an Alias fan party for the last season of Alias, like during a Lost party. Because Alias ended during the last season of Alias happened like in the middle. It was like 2 or 3 seasons into Lost. I remember doing that. That was fun. Yeah, I'd have to look up the seasons or the years that we did the parties, but I was not given a warning by BusyBee is what we were talking about. So I didn't.
She likes it when I surprise her.
I know when you surprised me about the topics, but I didn't know I was going to have to come up with dates and stuff. I mean,
no, you don't need dates, because I have 2 things I definitely want to bring up about these parties out west.
Well, I thought you were going to talk about like the other stuff that happened. Like, you were about dragging you into stuff.
There's that. No, the first thing is that I'm almost certain there's a picture of you with a giant polar bear at one of these parties.
With a giant. They at the first party, I think Allison had gotten a giant stuffed polar bear, which is hilarious. I do not know how or where. I'm sure that I may have posed near it. I don't remember it, but that does not sound untrue.
And the other thing is bowling. She laughs like that because my father used to be a fairly decent bowler. And so he had trophies in the garage.
Champion. He was a state champion bowler when he was 12.
So guess who took a bowling trophy out west with her to give to the winner?
With your father's permission.
With his permission.
He had a box of trophies. Okay, so here's the thing. The Hobby Minions and the Berkey Babes, which the Berkey Babes was Berkey's fan club. That's what we named ourselves. Whether you were a dude or a girl, we were the Berkey Babes. So we decided at the first Destination LA that, because, the different fan clubs were going to have gatherings. And because we were such good friends, we decided that what we really needed to do was have a bowling competition of the Berkey Babes versus the Hobby Minions. And so we went to Lucky Strike in LA, which is a famous bowling alley. And so we went to Lucky Strike, had a bowling thing, but we needed like some sort of trophy to be passed back and forth between the two heads of the Minions and heads of the fan clubs, which it would be Hobby and Berkey. And so, members of Hobby's fan club and members of Berkey's fan club would bowl against each other. And the trophy was my, at the time, husband, now ex-husband, one of his old bowling trophies.
Still my dad.
Still BusyBee's dad. So yeah, it was, and I can tell you for certain that I think it was like a 1970 something or early 80 something bowling trophy for insert BusyBee's dad name here. About
she's trying to show the camera.
About a 12-inch tall bowling trophy. Sat in the office of Brian Burke, executive producer for Lost, right next to his Emmy.
Both very important in his heart.
Yes, very close in like Saturn Awards or whatever. And then
Saturn Award, Emmy, bowling trophy from a random 12-year-old many, many moons ago.
Yep. And then see, because I think Berkey Babes won the first year, but we won the first and maybe the second, but I think Hobby got it the third because Hobby had it at some point too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, each year we had the fan club, or we had the fan parties. The two clubs would compete in a bowling match. We'd always find a bowling alley nearby. And nice. So, yes, this trophy went back and forth between the two fan clubs.
That's awesome. So I actually looked up Destination LA and I found out more about it than I realized. It was a charity fundraiser to celebrate the fandoms for Lost. Yeah. The party benefits the series co-creator J.J. Abrams' favorite charity.
Save the Children.
The Children's Defense Fund. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
So there was a silent, it was one of the auctions where, so they had a whole bunch of memorabilia to bid on, the ones where you walk up and you like
silent auction kind of thing.
Yeah. You go up and you bid on stuff. You put how much you'll pay for stuff. That's how I got my Alias pilot script.
When we rewatch Alias, that's coming out of the box.
Which I have JJ's autograph on. I've got Greg Grunberger's autograph on. I've got Rick Orsty's autograph on. Since they were there.
Orsty was there?
Yeah, he wasn't at the fan party, but I met with him.
You found him later to have him sign it?
Oh, no. Yeah, we met up and he didn't go to the fan party. Because he didn't write for Lost, but I met him through Fuselage too, which is ironic. But no, I met up with him and got him to sign it. But I have a picture of Greg Grunberg signing my script because he was there, because he was the pilot. I had the pilot sign him the pilot script for another show.
So I was looking at some of the pictures the people have taken at Destination LA 05. Gosh, dang it. I'm seeing the character that I'm waiting for posing for pictures. And
why aren't you looking at my Facebook or my Flickr, since I've got whole...
So I paused for a second because I was trying to inform hijinx that I didn't know how to access her Flickr anymore. She's like, just go to my Facebook. It's all there. So I'm going to her Facebook. I'm going to go look at photos. But, I've seen these ones before. I was looking at other people's. Oh, whatever. Yeah, I'll pull up these ones.
My photos are not good enough for you anymore?
No. Lost fan parties.
Really?
I'll have you know, the main picture on this album features the guy I'm waiting for.
Is it really?
Yes, it really. Oh, look at all these people.
Look at all these people my mom met.
Love you to pieces. It's crazy looking at your hair in these photos.
Why?
I think these photos show her hair fairly short, not extremely, but fairly. Her hair is extremely long now.
No, my hair is extreme. No, for the first year, my hair was extremely long, and then the second or third year it was short. So it's depending on what you're looking at.
Your hair magically got longer.
Yeah, it's long and short and halfway. So
it's still so strange because I'm not used to you short hair. Oh, look, it's Dad's trophy.
Oh,
that's where I got it. It's Bullapalooza. That's why I kept thinking
Bullapalooza. Yes, we did call the bowling competition Bullapalooza.
Oh, it's you posing with Michael and Jin. And Jin looks so happy. He doesn't look like a bad guy at all.
I told you. See, Daniel Day Kim is very nice. Yes,
he's so sweet.
Harold Perrineau, who plays Michael, and Daniel Day Kim, who plays Jen. They were at the first party, so I do have a picture with them because I was in the VIP tent.
I just realized this photo of you handing over the trophy, and I'm pretty sure that's to Javi. Yep, Javi. No, Javi's handing it to you, and he's trying not to for the second one. You're wearing your Berkey Babes t-shirt that your brother drew. It's a polar bear lounging on a small island.
So you're watching the second. I think that's from the second or the third one.
It says at Bullapalooza 2.
Okay. Yeah. Javi's handed over and he's making a grumpy face.
He's very grumpy. And then you two are celebrating in the very next pic. Because annual Metallica post.
Yes.
Never read the captions on these photos, I just realized.
Yeah, our Metallica post picture from the first year is epic.
I don't see it. You need to find it and send it to me.
It should be in there somewhere. There should be an album that's got the autograph pictures.
My new favorite photo is the picture of you four, including, I don't know all of their screen names. I know one of them. One of them is Q. Y'all are wearing Blame Damon shirts.
Oh, yes. We did blame Damon for a lot.
I blame him for everything. Mark Shepard's in here.
See, the thing is, I've now been friends with these people for 20 years, and we're friends on Facebook with our real names. So now I've forgotten. So there's some people's on-screen names I don't remember.
But you want to know what's helping us remember the screen names? So hijinx created a group chat that I mentioned at the beginning of this episode that she shoved me into, along with.
Not shove you.
I was shoved, as you were forced to do this.
I was forced.
You were forced. I was shoved. That's how this works. She basically created a group chat with all of the lost people she could find on her Facebook, like immediately. That she scrolled by name and tried to remember. She typed A and then scrolled like, were they on Lost or on Fuselage? And then added them to this massive group chat. Massive. There's like maybe 20 people in it. And I changed my screen name and her screen name to BusyBee and Hijinx, respectively. And so everyone started changing their nicknames. But that's how I know who Q is. And that's how I know who the party man is. And let's see, we got DJ Katie, Old Man Fan, Star Rocks. I can't pronounce the Galapagos one.
Cool. So I absolutely love the way you pronounce that, and she's going to too. But when I tell you how to pronounce it, you're going to shoot yourself. Galuptious. Like voluptuous.
Voluptuous.
But the fact she said Galapagos, that is killing me.
I think I said Galapagos or something like Galapagos. We also got Cable Get Lost, The Storm Cellar Slice, Karen C77, Maya, but spelled weird, MYHA, Mahendra, Maya, but spelled SURR.
Maya is Norwegian. She can spell it any way she wants to.
Fair enough. The Big Ragu, Captain Bob,
and Mahendra too.
So if I named you off, thank you, because the moment hijinx shoved all of us into this group, I called up Junior. I'm like,
and I ran away.
Junior, I need you to go screenshot how many followers and views and whatnot we have on everything. He's like, why? I'm like, hijinx just created a group chat with lost people. He's like, on it. And our views have shot up in the past week since being added to this. So thank you guys and welcome. And I'm glad. One of the guys said, I'm not going to mention his name because he didn't change his nickname yet. He said, I've listened to the first 2 episodes and started the third. Y'all are doing great.
You can call him Matt because Matt is part of his screen name.
Oh, is it part of his screen name? Okay, great. Well, yes. Matt. I've listened to the first 2 episodes and started the third. Y'all are doing great. And it's such a flood of Fuselage memories. Good. Yay. That's the goal here. We're here to unleash the gates.
I know his name. Yeah. So I do want to say hi and welcome to the loggers, the fusers. You guys know who you are. I love and miss every single one of you. And thank you for coming and listening to my daughter, who forced me to do this against my will. But you
put me in the group chat and said, BusyBee will explain, and ran.
I had to go to sleep.
She did say she had to go to sleep.
She'd been poking me to let you guys know about the podcast for weeks, and I just had not had an opportunity. But, I mean, one of the reasons I also agreed to this, obviously, is because I knew it would be nostalgic for all of you guys to talk about this. And if there's anything else you guys think of, any topics you guys think of or remember, or if you want to correct me on anything, I'm sure you guys would love to. But I know for a fact that all of you guys have memories from the parties, from the fuselage, stuff you guys want to talk about. BJ Katie's already brought up Lost Radio. We'll definitely talk about Lost Radio. There's going to be stuff that BusyBee doesn't know about. There's going to be stuff that I have forgotten about. Please feel free to bring it up. I will definitely talk about price. So whoever has already thought about that, don't worry. It's on my agenda once we get to the season where he became a nuisance, and we all know what happened to him on the show.
Wait, hold on. Is this a character or is this somebody on the fan site?
Yes.
Oh.
This is one of those things where don't poke the nomad because he will enact revenge against you. So
I do remember one very specific instance.
I've already told you the story.
Towards, I think it was series finale. You were openly debating whether or not to ban someone on the site so they could not comment during the episode.
I mean, there were some things that we could do on the fuselage that people didn't know about, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be allowed to reveal that or not. I really need to ask Carrie first. So, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter now, but
it's been like 20 years.
I know, but
I think your NDA is mute. Null and void.
We didn't have an NDA, but yeah, there are some. I don't want people to come after me.
We don't have to name names or anything. I remember very distinctly they had been causing a ruckus, and I don't know if you actually did or not.
No. Oh yeah. There's all sorts of stuff we did to people on the site.
Yeah, no, totally did.
Oh yeah, we totally did. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, we had a lot of fun as mods, and we will talk about. I'm sure we'll bring up the stuff that we did as moderators on the Fuselage, because I don't know if we've actually discussed it or not, but I was in what was known as a U mod, an ultra moderator, which was just one step down from an admin on the Fuselage. Carrie and Artie were the admins, and I was one of 3 U mods, and then there were super mods and mini mods. The Fuselage was massive, so we had to have a lot of moderators. Mm-hmm. But essentially, I had superpowers or whatever over there, and mainly it was just because I would go in and do a lot of cleanup aisle 3. I banned people, or I dressed them down.
Last 2 things. One, I do like that somebody commented, "Where's the goldenrod?" in this chat.
that was Big Ragu. He was a big fan of the goldenrod. That would be me. That was my color. It was a kind of a darkish yellow, so the technical color was goldenrod. So I was the goldenrod of doom. Mm-hmm. Yes, that was me. Because when somebody got spicy, then that was the call for me to come out and hit him with the goldenrod of doom, and I did. And
I smack.
Smacky smack.
Okay, so before I mention the last thing, is there anything else you want to bring up before we end this episode?
No, well, and as I was saying, for my dear fusers and loggers who have found this, thank you so much for embracing my dearly.
For the record, if you found us and realize that hijinx didn't include you in the chat, please don't take it personally. Again, it's been like 15, 20 years, and she's friended you guys and known your real names this whole time. She can't remember what your screen name was and whether or not you were actually lost or not.
I got all. Yeah, I mean, it could be the fault of Facebook for not bringing you up in my screen thing, but yeah, I mean, anybody and everybody, of course,
just shoot us a message. We'll add you to the chat.
Yeah, everybody. Well, and the chat was mainly just to let everybody know about the show. I mean, everyone is welcome to comment in the episodes here, because obviously we don't need that chat to become another fuse, though everybody would like that. But I mean, we can comment here, and we've talked about, depending on how big the podcast gets, we could potentially start something for the podcast itself that is not my little messenger chat. Though we did used to have an infamous, and K-Ball Get Lost is going to scream if I say what the real name of our Yahoo chat was. So I might say that.
You're going to tell me after we end this.
Yes, I will. But I mean, we have had infamous chat groups before, but we could talk about something like that depending on. So anyway, that's it.
So thank you all for tuning in. This has been Lost in My Podcast. And to all the Fuselage people out there, I have one last thing to say. It's Mandangoes.
Now that you know what that means.
I know what that means, Zab. That was put in the chat. For those of you who don't know, I guess it means like a massive group hug for someone that you haven't seen in a while. It's like a bear hug, right? Is that how you described it to me?
Yeah, it's like a group of bear hug. It's like a virtual hug that essentially the next time I see you in person, it's going to be a massive, giant hug. Yes.
Basically, the next time I see you in person, I'm going to tackle you with a hug.
Essentially, and usually lift you off the ground. It invariably, someone's getting lifted off the ground when it happens. Yes.
So Mandangos to all of you Fuselage people. If you were ever on the Fuselage and you ever want to come on here and talk, or you want to shoot us a message and talk about your memories, please feel free. We are at Lost Ate My Pod on both Instagram and X. You can also comment on our YouTube video or send us a message, lostatemypod@gmail.com. I don't check it every day, but I do check it right before we film episodes. Now, sometimes that's 1 week, sometimes that's 2. Like, this is one of the rare instances where we recorded 2 separate episodes in 2 separate weeks. Normally, we're 2 at a time kind of people. But no, we actually put some time in between this episode because schedules.
Somebody was busy.
Ooh, weird. The name, it fits, doesn't it? So again, thank you for joining us this evening. Today, these come out at 8:15 in the morning. My bad. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you and good night.